everybody and welcome to my fragrance winter wonderland where nothing is quite as it seems. I've got loads of weird and wonderful things to show you today, from the very large to the tiny miniatures, and just a few different ways of buying fragrance and a few things to think about if you're giving fragrance as a gift. Now, I think that fragrance is probably one of the most, or maybe the most gifted thing at Christmas time or holiday time. And I think that's because you can buy into a really luxury brand for not too much money. So whereas you might not be able to get a Chanel bag or a Chanel coat or something like that, you can have a small piece of that luxury and it feels really luxurious, but for a fraction of the price. So I can absolutely see why fragrance is such a huge market. And I just wanted to pick out a few of my favourite fragrances from this year and go through a few classics as well. So let's start with La Petite Robe Noire from Guerlain. Now, La Petite Robe Noire was one of those ones that kind of grew on me. It's supposed to be black cherry, and at first I couldn't smell the black cherry in it at all. I've mentioned this in a few videos now, but I actually think that this is a really lovely, sophisticated, dark, fruity perfume, and it is really fast becoming one of my favourite fragrances. So that's a good one to keep a lookout for. You can get that with a body lotion as well. Another favourite that I thought you wouldn't be able to get anymore is the Jo Malone Velvet Rose and Oud, which is rosy but really, again, dark, fruity and mysterious. And this one was supposed to be limited edition, but due to popular demand, Jo Malone have made it part of their permanent lineup, so I'm really pleased about that one. It's a really good option. Apparently it's supposed to be quite unisex, and men in the Middle East are really into this perfume, so I don't know, I think it's very feminine and not too masculine at all, but I suppose it's down to personal taste, but honestly, one of my all-time favourites. One that you probably won't see around too much at all is the Molecule 1 from Escentric Molecules. I've talked about this before. This only contains one scent molecule, and it's the molecule that most perfume houses would add to their scent to make it alluring and kind of sexy and sensual. And this just has that one molecule in, so rather than 10,000 molecules, it's got one. So it smells different on everybody, and 99% of people that have got it have reported back and said they love it, but there are a couple of people that just said they can't smell anything. So at your own risk really, but again, one of my favourites, and you can layer it up with anything. A few different ways of buying scent now, and actually this one is so cheap and cheerful, but I really love it. It's got a massive heritage behind it. It's 4711 and it's like the classic original cologne, and this is the Nouveau cologne, and it's a deodorant version. Now, I really like deodorant versions of fragrances. This is Angel in a deodorant version. It's a lot cheaper than buying the fragrance, but it lasts just the same, and I don't actually get too sweaty, so I can get away with just a kind of fragrance deodorant. So I quite like it on days when I don't want to wear a roll-on deodorant, but I need to have something under my arms. Purse sprays. If you read my website, you'll know that I'm really into my Chanel purse sprays, and I've got it in Coco Mademoiselle and the Chanel No. 5, just a couple of others here. Sometimes they're a cheaper way of buying the perfume, especially because you get a couple of refills as well, but a lot of the time it's just a really chic, easy to travel bottle. This is Black Orchid by Tom Ford, and this is in a little roller ball, and it's just as powerful as a spray-on scent. I actually feel that you don't use as much up because you're not spritzing it all over the shop, you're just rolling it in the places that you need it. And this is Annick Goutal's purse spray. This is really kind of the opposite of this, very flowery and light and feminine, whereas this is very deep and dark and sensual. Body lotions. This is Agent Focateurs Source, and it's the body lotion version of their original fragrance. Now, I adore their original fragrance, and none of the ones that they've brought out since really match up to it for me, so I still go for that one. This Body Glamour has got a slight sheen to it, so it's very sexy. It's really nice if you're going on a night out or you're feeling a bit seductive. And they often do this on cheap smells at a really reduced price. So I'll check on there and I'll put the link below if they've got it, because honestly it's like 75% off or something. So I'll double check that for you. But a body lotion is a really nice way of kind of layering up your fragrance and making it last all day, but also just quite nice as a gift, as an alternative to the typical fragrance. Next one is is the Jean Paul Gaultier Classique fragrance. And although I've only just discovered this, I really, really like it. I can't believe I've gone so many years and not known about it. Really feminine, just really beautiful. There's nothing bad I can say about it. I know that fragrance is personal taste, but for me, I'm absolutely sold before I even smell it because of the packaging. I just think this is iconic and it would look nice on any dressing table, in any bathroom. It's just a really nice kind of feminine, cool treat. And I forgot to mention actually the Perspray version of Burberry Body. It's in this really cool kind of rose gold diffuser. And I really, really like this. It comes with 2 refills. Fan de Fendi has brought out a new version of the fragrance and it's called Fan de Fendi Extreme. It's really feminine, really sensual, quite in your face, but I just love it. It's not my usual kind of type of perfume that I go for, but if you're out on a night out and you want something that's really kind of show-stopping, I find that this has just got everything in it. You know, it ticks every box, and I really love the luxe packaging and the Fendi emblem on the front. I have to talk about Angel because it gets so many comments every time I talk about it. It's really, really kind of chocolatey and vanilla-y, and that I know is an acquired taste, and it's not actually my usual fragrance note of choice, but some days I quite like the comforting feel of one of those really warm, sweet scents, and this is kind of the classic warm, sweet scent, really. Now, if you wanted to do something a little bit special fragrance-wise, then I can highly recommend the florist service, which is called Bespoke Perfumery. And basically there are a few different levels of it. You can either go for picking your fragrance out of a few that have already been half concocted, or you can have one completely made for you, choosing from kind of a number of different notes and things like that. And it takes about an hour and a half, and it's really, really interesting. You go into kind of childhood memories and the reason why you like different scents, and I can highly, highly recommend that. Florist is like a really old and prestigious perfume house, and it's based in London, and they've got a room at the back that's got all of their old records and old perfume bottles, and it's really magical. And you sit in there and you basically create your own perfume and you get to name it, and it comes in a bottle like this. Mine is very rose based and I love it. As you can see, I've been spritzing away at that. And then there's one that's, I think, thousands of pounds, which is for extremely rich people, and that's where you kind of, over a number of weeks, create this amazing fragrance of your own. So, a few things to think about there, but I can highly, highly recommend that service. And also, if you're in London, around Jermyn Street in Mayfair, then pop in and have a browse, because it's a really magical shop. Finally, if you watched my birthday vlog video, which will have either gone up last night or this morning, I'll put the link to that in the information box, because I basically filmed my entire birthday. I was 32 on Wednesday, and I just thought that I don't usually really do anything that special for my birthday. I'm always shooting or working or something like that. So I took the day off, even though I had to do a couple of meetings and things like that, and I filmed what I did. So make sure you look at that. But if you watch that video, you'll know that I popped into Chanel, into the pop-up store in Covent Garden, and chose a couple of things for, well, for myself really, but for the fragrance gift guide. And they got wrapped in this amazing box with this gorgeous sequin camellia stuck to it. The packaging is so amazing, and it's all free as well. I have 2 things from the iconic range Number 5. Number 5 is like one of the world's best-selling of all-time fragrances, and I don't want to unwrap these, but I will. This is a bath soap, which I'm never going to use. It's always going to be on display. And this is the fragrance, which is 200ml, so absolutely huge, but not as huge as this one, which is actually not real. It's a window display that I've borrowed stroke stolen, and not as big as the massive, humongous Chanel Number 5 bottles that are in the Chanel pop-up store. You might have seen me holding up a few of my little minis, and all of these have kind of been either free from perfume counters, or I don't know where I've got them. One of them was out of a glossy box actually, but Penhaligon's, and I've got 3 of them hung on the tree behind me. Penhaligon's have got these teeny, tiny versions of their fragrance. like this, with tiny scaled down little labels, and they're so cute. These ones you get in this amazing box with its tassel, and they're all inside, very Alice in Wonderland. Anyway, that's it from me for now. I hope that's given you some little fragrance ideas for Christmas and the holiday period, and I shall see you in the next video.